Hey, what's up, guys? So, Ryan Clark of ESPN was fired last week, and this has been getting a lot of attention, partly because a lot of people thought he had this coming for some of the incendiary things he said on television or on social media and some of the race baiting he continues to do. Having said that, Ryan, as an analyst, was probably one of the best talents on ESPN, and he was a weekly staple on First Take. So, on air, he's done a great job. It's just all the political stuff and race baiting that has pissed off a lot of fans. And I've covered him a lot on this channel and saw this firing happen because although he's a great talent, he was just too much of a headache to deal with. Anyways, RC took to Pivot Podcast to address his firing and watch him play the victim and blame everyone but himself.
And you're not a shy dude. Like you said, I know you ain't just sitting in the shadows with your head down. You're gonna address situations. But if it's not performance based, what's it based off of?
Well, to address the head down thing, what makes me a little bit sad about myself is I did adjust who I was to try to keep my job. I did have meetings with people and say, okay, what is it that you need from me? Not the analyst. The analyst he was damn good, right? If you care about the person that's on TV, what is it you need from me? Because I want to do that. I want to build a relationship. I want to involve you in the things I'm doing. You know, man, like this show, for 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me sad is even in trying to adjust to be at least more of what certain people wanted, they still fired me. And so I think that is difficult. I think it's about some of who I am, and it's about certain executives not connecting to that, not supporting that, not wanting to champion that, not wanting to give that the vast platform that is ESPN. And I think they utilized it to make an example of me.
So I'm going to pause it here for a second. So RC clearly knew he was on thin ice, and that's why he admitted to toning down his rhetoric this past year. So he knows full well that he crossed the line at times, but watch how he continues to play the victim on his podcast.
If I was laid off, like everybody else, they came out on Tuesday. Mine came out on Friday. I get the call. I get a text from our showrunner that tells me to call my boss. I call my boss in the break, tells me they're letting me go. He said this is a very awkward call. This is a hard call. I could hear how hard it was for him. And if anybody was going to call me that was anywhere on the executive level, whether low or high, he's the person I wanted to, the way he's fought for me and rode for me. And he said, our friends, jokingly, at Outkick had the story, and we're going to leak it. Let me tell you why I know I was fired. Because during the season, after some of the Kyron Lacey news broke, there were people on our network along with me that said something about it. Both of those people apologized, as did I. I didn't want to, right? I was told I couldn't come to work if I didn't. And at that point, I said, well, I can't come to work tomorrow because I don't believe I did anything wrong. Some conversations happened and we got to that point. And Outkick wrote an article about all the people that apologized, two very prominent faces at ESPN. And they praised them for who they were and how they brought this thing back around. And they bashed me, talked about how negative I was, and spoke about me in such a nasty way. And I sent an email at that time to Burke Magnus and Dave Roberts, who were working, because we were on an email talking about how we were going to handle it. And I was very poignant in saying, you have to watch who you listen to about me. There's certain people who want to paint me as a certain thing, certain people who want to devalue my voice, certain people who, no matter what I do, with all the great I've done, they've never mentioned that. But in this case, there are three people who are very important to this network, who all did the same thing, who all responded in the same way. And only one of us was vilified. And only one of us was a black man.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it here for a second because RC obviously did something wrong when he went on air on Monday Night Football and basically said that Kyron Lacey was innocent because he only went off of the defense lawyer's video. But days later, the police body cam video showed a different story. If Ryan didn't think he was wrong, why did he end up apologizing later?
And so how poignant, how purposeful is it to make sure that that's the exact same publication that gets the story that I'm going to be fired? Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to praise ESPN. They're going to pump ESPN up for getting rid of the person who stands up for the community. And they're gonna say that these are all the reasons why I didn't belong on TV in the first place. So let's garner as much positive publicity as we can early before all of these people that you've seen come out on my behalf and say I was the best in the world at the job and I deserved better. One, I didn't deserve to be laid off or fired. It ain't about money. Two, I didn't deserve to be handled that way. So let's get ahead of it. And they were gonna get ahead of it by leaking it to someone who they know hated me.
I would say, bro, how could this be that thought out when they just asked you if we could all, as a crew, come on First Take in August? That don't make no sense. When I saw it and how they did it and how outspoken you are about the community and how, like you're talking, some people don't agree with your stances and don't like that you were that open on their platforms. To me, it seemed like it was almost like buck breaking.
Slavery term.
You know, where you're the outspoken one, you're alpha. Let's embarrass him so everybody else gets in line. So nobody else talks crazy to us anymore, or goes through emails or whatever. Like, no, let's teach him a lesson. Let's embarrass him on national TV so that they all line up.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The executives of ESPN did him dirty if they really did tell him and his pivot crew to come out First Take in August. Anyways, it is interesting that Outkick was the outlet that broke the story because they hate Ryan Clark over there, partly because of all the race baiting and playing the victim all the time. But that said, you can tell Ryan is not taking any accountability in his firing at all. Now watch this next clip here because he goes into this whole diatribe about being liked by all his coworkers. I don't think he really understands. Just because you're liked by your coworkers or you do a good job as an analyst doesn't mean you're untouchable.
Yeah, I think that could be part of it, you know? Like I also know that this is a private company. They get to make their decisions based on what they want to make them on what they want to do. What I do know is they didn't take a vote. This wasn't about the majority, right? This wasn't about the people I work with day to day, because my phone don't say that. Production people who ain't worked with me in 5, 6 years. Thank you for how you treated me. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for showing up constantly. You know, Monday night. Thank you for always. If we didn't have any talent on a meeting, you were always there. You were always on time. You were always building things for the other people on that set. Thank you. And so when the people you work with cry for you, man, that means the world to me. When I get the messages of like the fact that I supported you, the fact that I was there for you means the world to you. Like it gave you the legs to stand up and be who you were on TV. Like that matters. This was a dictatorship. A person or a group of persons, very small group. They didn't poll the majority.
Yeah.
They didn't ask that question. Because you asked that question, now you gotta say, even though you told me just how important he was, I don't care. I don't care. I know how important you think he is, and you work with him every day. I don't care how important you think he is. I don't like him. People like me don't like him. They keep calling my phone. I don't want my phone to ring no more.